We had a vacation, a fight, a surgery, a suspension. Show's got everything. Talking about Total Divas right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everybody. These lovely sounds that you're hearing right now are, of course, Group-Sext theme song. Hi everybody, I'm Bill Hanstock. You can find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel. I am sitting in for basically everybody because some people are sick, some people are double booked, but we will get you through this, I promise. I'm sitting here with my co-host for the evening.
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Well, you guys, my name is Anissa Barr. You can find me at Anissa Barr with 3 R's on every social media site. It's going to be a good show, and I have some exciting news at the end, too. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Not as exciting as some of our other hosts who have had news recently, but
yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I have good news.
Yes. This is, I loved this episode. This was a great episode.
So did I.
It was a lot of fun, and a lot of stuff happened. Like, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, within the full hour.
Yes.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So let's get right into it. We start off with Nikki and Bree, of course, as we usually do. They're talking about Bree's difficulties having getting pregnant.
Right.
She has trouble, a lot of trouble trying to pronounce the word progesterone. But, you know, sometimes it's tricky for some people.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I think I'm glad that we get to see this, like, the beginning of her trying to get pregnant, and then, like, it leads up to what we all know now. But I don't even know how to say that word either. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of cool that she's starting, you know, that they get to film her from the beginning.
Bree and Nikki are sort of all of us at our worst moments. And they don't have a problem showing that to the world.
No.
So God bless them. Also Natty on a certain level as well.
Oh, I love Natty.
No problem making an ass out of herself week to week. When we start the show proper after the opening, we got an unusually animated Mark Carano. I've never seen Mark Carano this excited, moving this fast, this happy.
Yeah.
He just runs in and he hugs Natty and Eva Marie and tells them how excited he is. He's excited because after 6 months of Eva Marie going back to NXT, trying to come back, all these delays, she's finally going to start her storyline on SmackDown Live after the draft. And he's very excited. She's very excited, but she's also nervous about this.
Yeah, but, like, I would too. You know, sure. Especially like with writers, like you don't know what they're doing. Like you think you're actually might be on the show in the last minute. Oh no, we're gonna do this, and you all nervous all day long, and then you're just like, oh wait, so I'm not gonna be on TV. Wait, so I was just worried about nothing. Like what's going on? And I think that's pretty cool that we get to see behind the scenes with all of what she had to deal with that entrance and what not, and that is something that I actually wanted to know. I'm like, well, why is she not performing? Because as much as I could care less if she's wrestling, but I would like to know in back behind the scenes, why not? And I like Eva Marie on reality TV, not as a wrestler.
I'm glad that we got to see sort of the nuts and bolts of the storyline as well, because this is the Eva Marie when she came back and her avoidance of wrestling. Before we know how that ended, this storyline was actually, and this gimmick was one of my very favorite things that's happened in wrestling over the past several years. Just love it. I mean, I love Eva Marie as a wrestler and as a Total Divas cast member. So I'm a massive Eva Marie fan, just top to bottom. But I'm glad we got to see her anxiety about the situation and the reality of the storyline behind the scenes, but also that the show spent time taking us through it, because it's such a good story and such a good angle that I'm glad that they brought this to the Total Divas audience as well.
Right. And I kind of feel bad for her too, because like in a way, like, okay, I'm going to be a little biased here, but I do want to see her like maybe wrestle, you know, on a roster, and it kind of sucks we weren't able to see that, but we could still see that in NXT. But still, like, she's been waiting to do this, and then all of a sudden this happens. Like, I do want to see what she can do, in the ring, and then having the storyline when she's like, oh, Eva Marie won't make it because she is in traffic, and like she's in the backstage drinking a Red Bull. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, oh no.
Joseph Boza in the chat says that the fans were pissed about this storyline because she's getting X-Pac heat, and I just want to take a moment because this is something that I will always talk to people about. Even I've been saying this for years, and you can go check my internet history on this, but I've been saying this for years, like way before I encountered X-Pac as a fellow host here at AFTERBUZZ TV. There's no such thing as X-Pac heat. That's just something that doesn't exist. That's not a real thing.
What does that mean?
X-Pac heat is what people refer to as when they don't. The belief is that it's a type of heat. It's a terminology for when fans don't dislike a wrestler as a heel, they just want them to go away because they're tired of them, which is not a thing that really happens and really exists. And also, there's no such thing as that sort of heat, because any heat is heat. And if you're getting heat because fans are tired of you, if you're getting heat because fans don't like you, not as a character but as a person, if you're getting heat because of any reason, it's heat. And it's indistinguishable from the other kind of heat. You saying, boo, I'm tired of seeing you, is absolutely indistinguishable from the person next to you saying, boo, I don't like your character. So that's not a thing that exists. And Eva Marie is an absolute genuine heat magnet. Fans do not like her at all for many, many reasons. For her Total Divas character, for the fact that the smart fans feel like she was pushed too much too soon, for the fact that smart fans think that she has no talent as a wrestler or performer or anything. She gets heat. Whether people are tired of her, whether they don't like her on whatever level, she gets heat. And that is invaluable as a pro wrestler and for a pro wrestling company. So this storyline, I loved it absolutely to death. Everyone I've ever talked to about it or heard comment on the storyline loved the storyline to death because it was using Eva Marie to the absolute best of all of her abilities. Mm-hmm. And it was really capturing what fans don't like about her.
Right.
So, yeah, that's my little mini rant about that.
Well, I never knew about that type of heat, the X-Pac heat. I mean, he's so nice. Like,
he is nice. He's
so
great.
nice. I don't think like anybody could do that. Like, he's such a cool dude, laid back dude, and he's like just fun to talk to.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's great. But of course,
yeah.
In fairness to the fans who do believe that is a thing, which I will disagree with forever, but in fairness to those fans, not everyone gets a chance to talk to any wrestler ever.
No, I know.
We're extremely lucky and extremely blessed to be able to interact with wrestlers as part of our jobs and as part of our gig here.
Yes.
But that we're in the absolute smallest minority of wrestling fans that we actually get to interact with these people as human beings.
Exactly. And like the thing is, like, before I joined this amazing AfterBuzz family, I was too like a regular fan. Well, I'm still a fan, but I can't say regular, like that. And like just seeing it from a different perspective just changed my whole thing. And it changed me in a good way to know that, okay, so this isn't how it works. This is how it works. Right. So we are very fortunate to be able to be behind the scenes and know what's really happening and what had happened and stuff. So it's really, really cool.
And while we're talking about the people that we hate on TV, and
we don't really hate them.
And how different it is, like in person. Roman Reigns said in an interview not too long ago that he's never met a hater in person. Everyone he's ever met in real life has just been like, oh, Roman Reigns. Like, no matter how many boos he gets on TV. Because, I mean, really think about it.
Yeah.
Think about the wrestler that you hate the most, just as like, oh, I'm sick of seeing this person.
Right.
They're on TV every week. I don't like the spot on the card. Think about that wrestler. And then think about how absolutely jazzed you would be to see that wrestler in the world come into your work or be next to you on a plane or something. You'd be so stoked.
Yeah, like I'm sure people like at the signings or Access or whatever, they're just like, man, I don't like this wrestler, but they go meet them. Like, I find it kind of funny. I mean, there's like, we're regular fans. Like, we have the people we like, we have the people we don't like. But at the end of the day, you know what? They're risking their bodies. They're doing everything we wish we could be able to do. And shoot, I salute them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
let's try. We've gotten a little bit off topic a little bit earlier than I expected, but backstage we see Miz and Maurice go over their schedules. Miz gives Maurice a hard time because she doesn't want to read her schedule because she can't read, and it's not because she can't read; it's because she can't see the paper to read it because her eyesight is terrible.
I think we both can understand Maurice's pain.
Well, I only have bad eyesight in one eye, but yes.
Oh, mine's both.
Right. So Maurice is unable to see how many fingers Neville is holding up from a short distance away, but she says that's fine. She only has to not drive at night because she can't read the road signs at night. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So.
Like, to really like think that. Well, yeah, you really can't if you can't see. But I just wonder how bad her eyesight was if she couldn't see that far from Neville, because everyone's eyesight's different.
Sure.
And I don't think they even mentioned it, how bad her eyesight was, did they?
They didn't actually say, but they have a lot of examples throughout the show, because the next time we see Maurice and Miz, it's at their house. Maurice is drinking a little bit early in the afternoon, but Miz comes in with a bag and a card, and he said, "I got you a card," and she reads it, and she says, "Oh, that's so sweet," and then he reads it to her, and it's clear that she didn't see what it said because he said something kind of nasty to her, but all in good fun. So that's pretty bad eyesight if you can't read a card that you're trying to read in front of you.
So she could be either nearsighted and farsighted as well, because Neville wasn't that far away. Well, I mean, he was pretty like decent amount, but yeah, I feel her pain.
So Miz reveals that the bag is full of all kinds of different shapes and styles and sizes of glasses. She hates them all. She doesn't want glasses. She doesn't want contacts. She doesn't want to get LASIK surgery, which Miz has had. And he says, oh, you should do it. It's great. I did it. It's awesome. Because he's the Miz and he's awesome. But she says no to all of it. She doesn't want to deal with that. She can't stand the idea of her eyes being cut. Meanwhile, we've got let me go to this next. Carano needs to talk to Paige, because this is the only scene we see Paige in the
and it was quick
whole episode. Carano needs to talk to Paige. He pulls her into an office. Jerry Lawler's in there. He asks Jerry Lawler to leave. Jerry Lawler gives her a good luck and gives her a grimace, and then we cut away from what's happening there. Then the next time we cut back to Paige, she is crying in the parking lot, calling Alberto Del Rio. Telling him what just happened, and then she tells us, the viewers, that she was suspended for failing the wellness policy.
Right.
She insists that she does not do drugs, and that the only reason she failed the policy is because she was unable to give a sample within the time period. Now, this is a real thing. That is a real thing that happened. This is how Hornswoggle got busted for failing the wellness policy. Because the tests really are random. And if you are not on the road, you're still subject to the wellness policy testing. And if you're part of the random selection, they'll send a tester to your home. These testers, this is the WWE wellness policy. The testing is done by legitimate third-party testers. It's not done by people inside WWE. So this is these are actual companies. They do there's a lot of companies all over the planet that test Olympic athletes, that test any major sport athletes. So there's lots of different companies that do this sort of thing, like contractors. So WWE employs this company that does that. When they went to Hornswoggle's house while he was off the road, while he was at home, taking time off, they went to his house and they surprised him with a surprise test, because they're surprise random tests. Also, the nature of the tests is such that you'll get a person to administer the test who's of the same gender as you, and they have to actually watch you give the urine. So they have to watch you, but they also, there's a time limit on the period of time where when they come to your house, or if they pull you aside backstage or whatever, you have either an hour or 2 hours to be able to urinate to give a sample for the test. And Hornswoggle was unable to do it within the time period, and that's why he failed. So I don't know if Paige is saying that it was the same sort of situation for her, but it is a thing that happens. It is a thing that exists. It is a part of the wellness policy because if you can't give a sample, they can't test that sample. And they can't know whether you have failed the wellness policy or not. So you being unable to prove that you didn't fail the test is the same as failing the test.
Well, what if you can't urinate for like an hour or two and then really?
Yeah, you got to make it happen.
So like, can you? Well, yeah, drink a lot of like Sunny D, guys. Drink a lot of Sunny D. Because I really don't know anything about, and it seems like you do, but so are they allowed to like save their urine?
No, absolutely not.
It has to
no, because that's where you you have the trope of people like getting urine from someone else.
Okay,
you absolutely cannot do that. That's why they have to watch you.
That's awkward.
Because before they had people in the same room as the person, but then companies developed this thing called the Whizzinator, which is like basically a funnel that you can strap a bag of urine to your leg and like pretend like you're peeing, but you're not actually peeing.
Oh.
Yeah. So Google Whizzinator, guys. It's fun.
Okay.
Make sure your safe search is on. So there's all sorts of ways to get around testing, and because sports is such a huge industry, pretty much any way you can think of to get around pissing hot has been come up with and invented.
Right.
So yeah, you cannot save urine to give because there's absolutely no way to prove that urine came from you.
Oh, okay, that's true. Well, okay, so I have another question about that.
Sure.
So do they give you a couple of days, or when the person comes, it's like, okay, you have an hour or two to do it. You don't have like a couple of days.
Again, I don't.
Okay. You
definitely don't have a couple of days.
Okay.
Because there are certain drugs that will definitely not stay in your system for a couple of days.
Okay. I guess
that would be part of the banned list.
Right.
So yeah, that's not a.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would be a matter of hours, not a matter of days, where you would be able to fulfill that.
Yeah.
And it could also be, she didn't give specifics. She just cited this clause that exists where if you can't provide a sample within your allotted time period, you can do that.
Okay.
Now we'll get into the other suspensions coming up later in the season, I'm sure.
Yes.
And we'll have all new conversations to come out of those. So we got Paige suspended. That's all we saw of it. Were you surprised that this is all we saw?
Yeah, because I kind of want to see a little bit more on what happened when she came home. What did they tell her? Okay, you're done. Go pack your bags. Yeah. Go. We'll see you in 30 days. I feel like we didn't get. But in a way, I feel like they just gave us enough so us to know what happened. Just enough.
Really, it's sort of a good baseline when something like serious and legitimate happens, is if we don't see it happen on camera.
Right.
That's sort of a good baseline knowledge, because they got us into the room where it was going to happen. Hamilton, shout out, what's up? And then we didn't. Then we weren't able to see what actually happened.
Yeah.
We just saw him call her in, dismiss Jerry Lawler, and then
because they didn't even like say anything in the room.
Sure.
It was like very like, okay, no cameras.
That's definitely also probably a big part of like their corporate policy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you can't film, because that is a private conversation too.
It's a private conversation. It's also a professional conversation.
Exactly.
There's HR issues. Like, imagine if you were getting written up by your boss and there was like a camera crew in there, like
that. I would feel uncomfortable.
Right. And also probably not a thing that will fly in any sort of like court.
No.
Right. Anyway, we've got the Paige suspension. Maurice can't see Eva Marie's storyline, but we've also got the other major thing that we've got going on this week is we have a trip to Anguilla.
I think that's what they said.
Anguilla.
I can't say it.
It's in the Caribbean, everybody. And,
I was wondering where it was.
Yeah. Anguilla? I think it's Anguilla. I'm not sure. But we have Lana going there. Russo's going there. Naomi and Renee going there for some charity work that they're doing through WWE. Lana's excited because she thinks that it can give her and Russo sort of quasi honeymoon between their two weddings.
Right.
But she's also very excited to see, because her and Rusev went to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
She's excited to see Naomi and Renee, who they haven't seen since they got drafted to SmackDown a whole 2 weeks ago, going off of the storyline. But whatever. We don't know how long. We have absolutely no idea where in the timeline this trip falls. So it could have been whenever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going by what we see concurrently, like with Eva Marie's storyline, they were there for like a month.
Right.
So
right. Or like when they showed on the on the show Lana getting smashed in the cake and everything. So.
Yeah. So we have them going to Anguilla, and Lana's super excited at first. Naomi's showing up a couple days later, and her and Rusev and Renee go to the beach. Lana's taking pictures of everybody. She's so happy.
Yeah.
But Renee is starting to feel kind of like a third wheel, because Renee and Lana and Rusev are making out and swimming in the ocean together.
Like, I've personally, I've been in those situations before where like I would hang out with one of my friends and like they bring their, significant other, and it's like, oh, I thought it was just like us hanging out, and it's like weird because like you can't really like, I'm on my phone or like on the whole time, and she's trying to take pictures, and like and then like Renee's like, hey, like let's enjoy the moment, like you do have pictures and that's great, but you also have a camera crew with you that you can actually enjoy those moments as well.
Great. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. But you can't always get reliable stills from those video cameras.
I liked her camera though.
That was a great camera.
That was cool.
If anyone knows what kind of camera that was,
yeah, I want to buy
tweet
one.
it at us.
I want to buy it.
Yeah, that's very cool. It probably costs way more than I can afford, but
right.
When they're checking out their hotel, when the three first get there, Lana shares with Renee that she warns her, Rusev does like to walk around naked a lot. He likes to cook steaks naked. I mean, who doesn't? But Renee looks a little bit creeped out, and Lana says, it's just a penis. And then they go downstairs to the pool, and Rusev has already put on his Speedo. Renee is worried she's going to see his butthole, so she leaves.
Or her starfish or something.
Starfish.
Oh my goodness. Like, if my, like, I mean, I guess maybe their relationship is different. Everyone's relationship is different. And, like, I'm with Renee. Like, I don't want to see, like, my friend's husband. Like, that's just not weird.
At the same time, it's probably less weird than doing a 2-person Baywatch boudoir shoot for your 2 significant others. Both of our husbands are going to love this.
Well, what's more cringier? Seeing Rusev naked?
The Baywatch thing. I got to tell you, if my biggest problem is accidentally seeing Rusev naked, my life is awesome.
I don't want to.
Handsome Rusev.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
No.
Show it to us.
No. That's for Lana, but like that should
it
be
can
just
be for everybody.
No.
If he likes to walk around naked and Lana's obviously cool with it, I mean, yeah, that's invasive to someone who doesn't want to see it.
Yeah.
But if I'm in that apartment or hotel, I'm fine. Guys, I'm fine.
Oh man.
Handsome Rusev. Handsome Rusev. So they're in Anguilla. Meanwhile, in the States, Nikki and Bree's still having all these problems trying to get pregnant. She's having trouble conceiving. And her holistic doctor, who she goes to for acupuncture, thinks maybe it's an issue with her vegetarian diet. She's a strict vegetarian diet, so maybe she's not getting the proper nutrients she needs to conceive. And, when you're trying to conceive, you got to do prenatal vitamins. You got to do all this stuff. You got to make sure that your diet's correct.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Nikki pulls this like Mr. Wizard like science demonstration on her where she orders 10 salads from the room service.
Yeah, so a backtrack a little bit when she talked to the doctor and saying, oh, she's not getting enough iron. I had a roommate, one of my friends, I lived with her and her mom, and she was a vegetarian. And she made some, chicken nuggets. I'm like, girl, you don't eat meat. Why are you eating meat? She's like, no, it's fake meat. I'm like, you sure? She goes, yeah. And like, even on the label, like it shows that it had iron and everything. I don't know where she got it, but like she can still eat meat, but fake meat, and it has iron, it has all that nutrition. So And I didn't even know spinach had iron in it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why Popeye is so strong.
I love spinach. It's my
Spinach
favorite.
is great. Spinach is great.
It's delicious.
But yeah, so Nikki points out you'll have to eat 10 salads to get the same amount of iron as I get in this gigantic steak.
She like gave her like a math equation.
Yeah.
Like.
And we all know the Bellas are not great with math equations.
Neither am I.
It's fine. Math is not great for most of us. So Bree is getting really conflicted about she might have to give up her strict beliefs and vegetarianism and her love of animals.
Right.
She might have to sacrifice that in order to be a mother. And she doesn't know that she's ready to do that she's ready to sacrifice that part of herself.
Right.
So she FaceTimes Rosa Mendez, who is also a vegetarian, who also had to do a different diet
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, when she was pregnant with Jordan. So Rosa, unfortunately told her, yeah, I did have to change my diet. And then she even more unfortunately tells her, like, I've tried to go back to being a vegetarian after giving birth, and it's no go. It's not happening.
And you know what? I do miss Rosa on Total Divas.
Sure.
I really do. Kind of cool to see her again.
I do miss Rosa, but if we have to give up Rosa to get Naomi back, I'm totally fine with that. And Lana and Rusev. I mean, it's a great handoff. No offense, Rosa, we love you, but we got three and Miz and Maurice. I mean,
we got a lot of good people.
Let's the scales have been tipped in our favor. I think
we should just leave it, right?
Okay, we'll just leave it. So we also got later in the episode Bree going to her cryotherapy, and the cryotherapist pointing out, maybe locking yourself in a negative 240-degree chamber wouldn't be good for a baby.
Right.
I mean...
Have you done that before?
No, I haven't done cryotherapy.
Yeah, neither have I.
I would.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So, like, do you know what it really does?
Yeah, it just... Because, like, icing yourself, like, icing your body when you have, a sprain or a strain, or sore muscles, you ice yourself.
Oh.
This is just a very effective way to ice your entire body at once.
Oh, gosh.
Like, to a much more intense state than you would get by, like, holding an ice pack on your arm.
Oh, no. No.
See, I would just do it anyway, even if I wasn't hurt, because I love the cold.
Oh, okay.
And I'm so down for it.
I like the cold too, but not that extent.
Right. But it's not, you don't stand there very long. It's like minutes at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, something to try once.
Yeah, try once.
You know there's a million of those places down here. Because that's where Nikki and Brie go, I think.
Yeah, yeah, well, because they kept showing Los Angeles. And
they were in La Jolla and stuff.
Oh, really? Wow.
No, earlier.
Yeah.
So that was Brie and Nikki's storyline.
Mm-hmm.
She's having trouble getting pregnant, and there's all these things that she might have to change about her life in order to become pregnant, and she doesn't know if she's ready to do that yet. Yeah. That's sort of where we leave it for the week. I'm sure we'll get back to it next week.
Yeah. Also, we with Lana and Lana and Renee, they kind of had a little falling out too.
Oh, we're getting back to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, no, I'm just saying. Look, that's wrapping up the Bella's part of the storyline for the week. Oh, it's all good.
It's been a long day, guys.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a long day. And we'll get to that too. So Miz goes to the gym. He gets back from the gym, and he tells Maurice that he's very thankful for the nude picture that she sent him, but he points out that she might want to check where she sent it, because she actually dropped it into a group text and not just directly to him. So that's some bad eyesight.
Yeah.
And I'm also fascinated as to what group text has Ms. Maurice, Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler, Renee Young, and who knows who else.
Right?
Like what is that? What is that group of people?
I want to join that.
What is that assemblage of persons?
But I want to join that, their group. I wonder what they talk about.
So just the haircut club, or
the haircut club. But also, like, it's kind of funny because, like, when you see the photo, it looked like she didn't even take it from, like, her bar, like, for the camera, like a selfie.
She took a reflection.
She took a reflection. Yeah. So, like, I'm thinking but also she was home by herself. But I was thinking, like, maybe she was buzzed when she took that too.
It's totally possible.
Could be possible.
Yeah. She was drinking earlier.
Yeah. So.
So later, Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder give her crap about it. I think that's sort of the straw that makes her. So at the end of the episode, Miz books a LASIK session for her. We get to see the weird, gross surgery. Looks terrifying, but it's over in a few minutes, and she feels great. She loves her new vision afterwards. She loves her eyesight, and Miz comes in with flowers and gives her just the sweetest card.
I love that card, though.
Great card.
That was great.
See, so much better than Dean's romance last week. Dean pulled it out a little bit at the end. I mean, not like that, but he pulled it together a little bit at the end. And but Miz just gets romance.
Yeah, because that's the Miz. That's just him himself.
And the Miz is even the type of guy who will carry your apple inside for you.
Yeah, and like it's kind of cute that like the first time he laid eyes on her was a total like the diva search, and that was a long time ago. Yeah. That was when he did the whole shorts and the spiky,
batting
hair.
gloves.
It was like
trilby.
Yeah, total like 2005 style, right? 2006. So it was kind of like cool that he did that, and I liked how like at the end he goes, oh, and you could see like clever or clearer or something like that at the end of the how do I say it? The card. Yeah, that was kind of cute. So I was like, cute. Oh, that's funny. That made me laugh.
Yeah, it was awesome.
They're adorable together.
Yeah, they are.
And I hope they have their own show because they like to do flip houses. So I hope they do their own.
That would be very cool.
They're cool.
They should replace those flip or flop people.
No, I like that show.
Well, that probably won't be around much longer.
Wait, no. That couple? No.
Flip or flop, right?
No. It's the other couple that are like getting divorced, right?
Right.
Those one. The flip and flop people is the chick with the hair and then the beard, right?
No.
Think about we're talking about a different show, but let's move
on. So the other storyline is Naomi finally shows up. Her and Renee like immediately get tore up. Like they just start like hitting it hard. Just start partying. We go out drinking, and Renee is sort of resentful that she's been made to feel like the third wheel, and that Lana's treating this like a honeymoon when she just wants to hang out with her friends. Mm-hmm. So they get tore up. Lana calls Renee. Renee hits her with a D's nuts joke, which is the absolute best part of the week. Lana was not pleased about it. Naomi and Renee get home drunk. They wake up Lana and Russo trying to play a prank on them that doesn't go well. The next night they wake them up again, being loud in the pool. Mm-hmm. And that is when Lana and Renee lose it at each other.
Yeah. You know what? I feel kind of like, I mean, I kind of understand like Renee's point too. Like I said before, like I'd be upset if I was a third wheel and like, you know what, now I had a friend and now like, and then all of a sudden like now that Naomi Trinity came to hang out with them, all of a sudden Lana now wants to hang out with them. So it's kind of like, what's going on here? And in a way, like them arguing, I mean, I feel like it was Renee being buzzed, and she's, you know how like when drunk people, they tell the truth. Mm-hmm. They don't want to say, I think that was her moment.
Sure.
So
but it was definitely one of the most intense, loudest, most like serious fights we've seen on,
and we got a beep.
Total Divas. Yeah,
we got a beep.
Got a beep. Got a big beep.
Big beep.
But it was pretty intense. I was very surprised because it came across a lot more genuine than some of the fights have in the past. But this was like a for real blow up,
right?
And very compelling. Lana's ready to like write off friends altogether, but of course Handsome Rusev, always the voice of reason, he says you need friends. You gotta have friends. You should go fix this. So they're able to. Well, first before that, before the makeup, they finally went and did their charity work, which was hanging out with some kids. They all had a great day. It was a lot of fun.
That was nice, and then like seeing how like Lana could relate to one of the girls, how she's from England, and then Lana mentions how like she came from Russia, didn't know English, and you know, as us fans, some of us probably knew about that and some of us didn't, and I think that's really cool that she kind of mentioned that.
Absolutely.
Because she could relate to, you know, a child could relate to her.
Very,
so
very
that was
true.
really, really cool.
And also it's always helpful to put into context that no matter how bad your job is or how worried you are and stressed out about stuff, at least you don't have a storyline where you fart all the time. Got to make the best out of what's given to you, but at least we're not given that.
Oh, Eva.
Yeah.
But what I want to mention is, did you notice how like Trinity like grabbed Lana's mouth and just like held it. I was like, oh no, I'm surprised like Lana's not like going back or anything. But I'd be, you know, I'd be doing the same thing. Like, hey,
Sure.
and Trinity is that type of person. She is also the voice of reason. Like, hey, you know, let's talk it out. Stop it. I've never really seen her like, well, yeah, we did, but like, seen her get like, you know, she's always a voice of reason.
She's a very good mediator.
Yeah.
She has a lot of stress about her own life, but she's good at helping other people with their problems.
Yeah.
So luckily somehow everything manages to get patched up by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
They've done it again. So that was the end of this episode. What we get some clips out of what we're going to see next week. Nikki has to decide between a wrestling comeback and Dancing with the Stars.
I didn't know that.
I don't think anyone did.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not true.
Maybe it's just a storyline.
Yeah. And Lana has her Bulgarian wedding. So we get to see the second Lana Rusev wedding, and we get to find out some Nikki drama, and I'm sure lots of other stuff, maybe more Paige developments, maybe more Eva Marie developments.
Yep.
At any rate, any other thoughts about this episode?
I really enjoyed it. I did. It was something that that was fresh and new, and I'm just glad that, you know, everyone was on the show that is on the show. So it was really cool to see everyone have their own little part in each scene.
Yep.
It was good. And it was for a whole hour. Like, I didn't even forget it was a whole hour. I was like, man, it sure wasn't 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think like top to bottom, this was probably the best episode of the season so far.
Yeah.
It was great. A lot of stuff happened. It was totally entertaining. It had like some really funny stuff, some super real stuff, and a minimum of like contrived stuff.
Yeah, and I'm excited for next week too.
Yeah, it should be great.
Yeah,
I'm just excited to see like Russo's family and the Bulgarian outfits and everything. Like, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Lana gets mad at something, so I want to know what she's really mad about. So, hey, it's gonna be a good show next week.
Absolutely. So why don't you tell people about the exciting time that you had this evening?
I had so much fun. Okay, so I met AJ Lee today. I call her the Queen.
That's just a little nickname you have for her.
Yeah, a little nickname I call her. And I waited for about a long time. I'm not going to say how long, but I waited a long time. And I was in line. And what's cool about wrestling, it brings fans together. And I made some friends. And I think that is like cool. And that's cool about wrestling. Like, you go in line, and I went by myself and I made some friends. And hey. And one cool thing is that like Big E is in town. So he was walking by and someone's like, oh, Big E. And I turned and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then all of a sudden you see people swarming at him. And I'm like, oh my God, poor guy. Like, oh my God, like these guys, like, oh, okay. So which is
Big
cool.
E knew exactly what he was getting into walking past a line of wrestling fans.
Yeah. And you know what? I was like, debating on if I should take a photo or not. And I was like, you know what? He's doing it with everybody. Because I wasn't sure if he was like, no. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I did it. And he was so cool, super nice. And, you know, he went in. That's it. And then when I met AJ, you know what? Meet your heroes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very fortunate to meet my heroes and people I look up to. And they're like the nicest people I've ever met. And this signing was so different because, you know, with WWE, if you go a signing, they're like, okay, here, you're done. Oh, here, you're done. I literally sat down with her for like about 5-7 minutes and had a conversation. And like, we talked about, you know, her promo she did. And like, I told her, thanks because you know, now I'm chasing my dream. And I told her what I do here. And she was like, oh, really? Like, that's amazing. And I mentioned the shows and stuff. And she was just very like happy that she was like, I'm very happy that I get to be an inspiration to you, and got a little personal on my condition and everything. And she was just very like shocked. And then one cool thing is that I have kind of like the same tattoo as her, but a different date. So one of my friends, he went and he mentioned it to her, and she goes, what? How come you didn't tell me? And I'm like, I totally forgot. She goes, we got to take a picture. So I'm like, okay. So the woman she was with, I don't know if it was like a family member or her publicist or anybody, she was like, whoa, that's cool, I'm gonna take a photo. I said, all right. So like we took a photo side by side, and like she thought it was like the coolest thing. Like she was like in awe. So I'm hoping to see that picture maybe on her website or something. Great. But it was a good day. Today was a good day.
Very cool. And now you get to come here and talk to the people about
I know. So like if you guys, I mean, I did mention it, I was gonna meet her, so if I saw anybody in line, come say hi. Sure. Want to meet new people. And it was pretty cool.
Nice.
It's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think that probably AJ, it must mean a whole bunch to her. I mean, she's been doing this for a long time at this point, like, you know, all the access sessions and everything, but it must mean a lot to her that, you know, that famous picture of her getting to meet Lita. Yeah. And now she's that person to like a whole generation of fans.
Yeah. And you know what? It was, it's kind of like crazy because like you are sitting next to her and then you're like, wow, like she was in my shoes, like, what, long time ago.
She's still super young.
Yeah, so, yeah, and she still looks great.
Yeah,
still looks great without, you know, wrestling off 2 years. I think she still works out because she still has. She looks great. She got some tattoos, more tattoos on her finger, and I was like, "Did that hurt?" She goes, "Yeah, kind of, but you know what? My husband, you know how my husband, and he's a tattoo guy. Sure. Gotta get used to it." So it's cool. Yeah.
Any other news or anything that you want to share with us?
Well, today we had Damien Sandow on X-Pac 12360 today, and guys, check it out. Like, he talks about backstage segments with how he came up as Ms. Stunt Double. He talks about stuff with he was in TNA. He's not retired at all. He's just, you know, taking a break. And watch that. It was so cool. And we had TK today. She was our wrestling news of the week today, and it was so cool. She did awesome.
That's awesome.
So it's gonna be amazing, and I'm so excited for next week on Total Divas.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And really, there's not really any news and gossip. The only real Total Divas stuff that came out this week between last episode and this episode is that Nikki revealed that Total Bella Season 2 is wrapped, and it should be back in September.
Oh, cool.
So we'll be talking to you in September.
Yeah.
And also next week and every week.
Yeah.
As long as Total Divas is on.
Yeah.
There's a chance we might be an hour earlier next week, which would be cool for us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but we'll let you know. We'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah.
At any rate, where can the people find you?
Well, you guys could find me at Anissa Barr with 3 R's. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, same thing. I love to interact with everybody. And hi, Claire. We've been chatting for a little bit. She chats with us, wakes up at 6 a.m.
Claire's great.
To like watch us, and she's from the UK. And her and I have something in common. Like there's like, it's called like Geordie Shore. It's like the UK version of Jersey Shore. Right. I swear, like I think I want to move there. I love that show. It's my favorite like awesome. UK show. But yeah, guys, check it out. Let me know. Hit me up. I love conversation with you guys. Like I love, you know, interacting with everybody, getting to know people, and you know, just remember, I'm you.
Yeah. Talk to us online. I'm always down to talk about Total Divas. So you can find me on Twitter and everywhere else at Sundown Motel. You can check out uprocks.com and withspandex.com, uprocks.com/sports. I will have the Total Divas recap going up bright and early tomorrow. Well, bright and early on the West Coast anyway. Somewhat bright, somewhat early on the East Coast.
Yeah.
But check it all out.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week when I will not be hosting. We will have
we'll
have our normal. We should have the full crew, the whole contingent back. Thanks so much for joining us this time. Keep talking about Total Divas. Hashtag Total Divas. Do we have a hashtag just for this show?
We should.
Let's do. No, we'll think about it. We'll tell you next week. Tell you next week. I'll tell you what hashtag to use. But until then, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AFTERBUZZTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz it later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.